And now, Zartok in space! Featuring the master of spelljamming through space, the intrepid and yet somehow cowardly Zartok, played by Josh. And his first mate and second in command, the competent, patient, and very, very tired Ansna, played by Ashley. And the brain sure to ruin this whole misadventure, inexplicable and still uncomfortable in his new body. It's Gerlos, played by Chris.
Oh, that was wonderful.
I love that.
I'm glad there's a whole video to go with this.
Why don't we have an intro like this every time, Mike? Come on.
I had to create not original. I had to duplicate some famous music for that. It's a bit of work.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
When last we left our heroes, they had left the home of the gods and, off-screen, traveled back to Mun's orbiting base, the Moonstone, so that the party could split up. Terra, Coral, Aster, Mama Sass, and Lumpen went off on one mission, and Zartok, Ansna, and Gerlos were given another. Zartok is piloting the Lance ship that they took from the slavers on a mission to spread the jars from the god of magic, the far-off one, all around the crystal sphere that contains the solar system. The first thing we have to resolve is, what name have you given to this ship? What are you calling it now?
Uh-oh. Does it have a name already? Is it painted on the side
name?
or anything?
I don't know if it had... You know what? I think it did have a name.
It's probably something pretty crude, right?
Yeah, I imagine it's not something very nice.
The home wrecker. Can't remember what the land ship looks like.
Well, I can show you a picture if you want.
Oh, yeah. Definitely need it.
The Fang.
That's pretty good.
The Fang, F-A-N-G, was the name of the ship.
That's pretty perfect. I'm looking at a picture now. I mean, I don't know, guys.
You want to just stick with the Fang?
What is it?
Do you want me to show you a picture,
Yes,
Chris?
please.
Yeah, show Ashley and Chris a picture.
And I will share. There we go. It is this thing. That is a Lance ship.
Whoa. Looks like a fountain pen.
It kind of does look like a fountain pen.
I was thinking dart.
I'm going to call it the Dart instead of
The
the...
Fang's cooler.
But, the needler sounds good. Is that a good Gerlos?
That's pretty good.
We've already got Corellin's needle. Yeah. So that might be confusing.
Ooh, the point.
The point. Sounds like a place.
Yep.
Zartok is flying. He has the final word. What does Zartok decide based on this input? What does Zartok decide the name is?
It's called Spike.
I mean, I think Fang's pretty good.
All right.
You generally don't want to change the name of a ship. It's like a bad luck or something. Unless it's terrible. Unless it's out of taste or something.
Okay. Assuming you're going to stick with the name The Fang, here's what we're doing today. Today's adventure is all about narrative skill challenges.
Ooh.
We're not going to play out the placing of all the jars on the crystal sphere. That would be boring and repetitious. Instead, we're going to create a sort of travel montage made up of short narratives topped off with skill checks. Each player chooses from 5 story setups and then decides how it plays out. Their character must make a skill check to win that part of the story. One other player may roll a skill check to aid and provide advantage, and the DC for this aid check is 15. Each success gets you 1 point. You need 3 points to succeed in placing enough jars for this to work as you planned and in a timely manner. The DC for the first check is going to be 15. The DC for the second check is 17, and the DC for the final check is 21.
Ooh.
A different skill check must be rolled for each check and for each aid attempt. All right, so you can't use the same skill more than once in this narrative skill challenge thing. If you don't get the necessary 3 points in the first 3 tries, you can do the last 2 narratives. But the DCs are going to get higher. They'll be 24 and 27. There will be story consequences if you need to use the last 2 narratives, and there will be more story consequences if you aren't able to get 3 points at all.
Yikes.
All right, everybody follow that?
Pretty much.
Is the skill checks the points when you roll on the D20 also using the bonus points from your character?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to roll a skill check using your character's skills. The bonuses on that character sheet that you've got.
Okay.
So I've written 5 story hooks. All right. Now, you could create your own if you want to, if you don't like these. You must each choose one or propose another one if you have a better idea. So I'm going to give you some time here to look over these story hooks and see if there's one that you like. Can you all read them okay?
Yeah.
One other useful tip, Zartok is the highest level character here, and he has the highest skill bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
So you would probably want to leave the most difficult checks for Zartok.
True. Unless you want crazy excitement.
Ha. These are good. I think these are good already.
A plant.
Oh, that has to be the last one, right? Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the final jar. It could be any jar.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the stowaway has to happen after we land somewhere.
That's true. That one does have to happen after. So 3 has to happen after 2. Other than that, you could do them in any order. And I do love how they're all exciting titles. Pirates. Resupply is not very exciting. But my favorite is plants! Exclamation point.
Yeah, these are good. I'm not going to suggest anything else.
Okay.
These are really well thought out.
We each choose one of these.
You
so
choose one of these.
3 of 5 of these are going to happen.
That's right. Unless you don't get enough points after 3 of them, in which case you could choose to keep going and double down, right? And see if you can make more difficult checks.
The plant seems to be my favorite one so far because it seems the most like dark space, scary.
Yeah.
I like pirates. I'm a simple person.
Of course you do. That's an exciting one.
Followed sounds scary. I don't want that one.
It could be a hilarious new addition to our group. Where we have to...
I do like stowaway.
Well, we got to do 2 to get 3.
Yeah, the only thing with stowaways, you've got to do 2 first.
We can't do 1 first.
I mean, you could do 1 first, and then 2, and then 3. But if you want to do stowaway, you've got to do resupply first.
2, 3, 5. That's my vote. Resupply, stowaway, plants.
Well, you each get to choose.
Oh, each of us picks one. Okay.
Each of you picks one.
All right, you guys pick first.
Oh, to go first? I kind of like plants the most, but I think that should be a later one, not like a beginning one. I like pirates.
Okay, should we read each one for the listener?
I will let you read it once you've chosen them.
Once we've picked, okay.
I like plants. They smell nice.
All right. So Chris has chosen plants as his exciting story. And remember that if you don't choose some of them, you might end up doing them anyway, depending on how you do on these skill checks.
So you want to do 2, 3, 5?
2, 3, 5 sounds good to me.
Well, you could do 1, 2, 5, and then if you don't get enough points, then you could do 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you want. If you do get enough points, then you won't have to do 3.
Well, we could do 2, 3, 5, and if we don't get enough points, we can do pirates.
Yeah,
That's true, too.
well,
But if you really like pirates, I don't want to deny you the right to do pirates.
Yeah, don't deny us pirates. All right, Ashley, you pick.
Pirates.
Okay. Pirates first.
Pirates first.
Nice.
So is that Ansna's then? Ansna's choosing pirates first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ansna loves pirates.
Okay. Or she likes fighting them anyway. All right. Well, you want to read the story setup then?
Sure. Pirates. When you go to set the first jar on the crystal sphere, a smooth, black, glassy substance, a portal in the sphere opens nearby, and a ship full of pirates comes barreling through.
All right. So I'll give you a little bit more explanation about this crystal sphere. As you're sailing across empty space between planets inside this gigantic crystal sphere that contains the solar system, right? You're approaching the edge of the solar system, and that means you're approaching this black wall of crystal. And you realize that in the wall of this crystal are stars. They're like embedded in the sphere. The things that from your home planet look like stars are in fact glowing rocks or portals to the plane of fire, the elemental plane of fire, or other glowing objects painted onto the crystal sphere. But they're not actually stars. They are some other kind of thing that appear to be stars from your planet. You're approaching a piece or a section of this giant wall of black crystal. And Zartok pilots the ship up close to the crystal sphere, and someone has to get out and float over to the crystal sphere and put the glass jar on it and then go back to the ship. So this is Ansna's story. Oh, I guess I should explain one other thing you may have forgotten by now. The way that air works in Spelljammer is your ship carries with it its own little atmosphere that floats around the ship. So you don't need to worry about running out of air as long as you occasionally dip back into a planet with an atmosphere, dip back into that planet's atmosphere to refresh your air bubble. And also, when you leave the ship, you have, at least for a little while, a bubble of air that goes with you, right? So you're not going to immediately die if you jump off the ship, but it is a little scary, but it can be done. So this is where you take it away, Ashley. You tell me what everyone does and what happens when this ship full of pirates comes barreling through, and someone can volunteer to help you with a skill check, and then you have to make a skill check, and you tell me, based on that roll, how the story is resolved.
You know, we're a ship in deep space, and they're a ship in like deep space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe we just kind of peacefully resolve this. We don't fight.
Okay.
So maybe there's like an insight check that Ansna can make that's like, oh, they don't look like they want to attack us. Let's let this one pass for once, guys.
Okay.
Did you go out to place the jar? Did Ansna fly out of the ship to place the jar in the crystal sphere?
I think so.
I mean, I guess she will have to do that.
Okay, so let's make a story out of it, right? So Ansna, once Zartok has steered the ship close enough, she makes the short hop off the ship and floats down to the crystal sphere with this jar in her hands, and she, I guess, sets the jar down on the glass, on this crystal.
Yes.
And the jar just disappears. You're not sure if it's been absorbed into the crystal sphere or what's happened, but it just disappears from your hands. And right at that moment, you feel a bit of a rumble in the crystal sphere. And as you look up, you see a portal opens in the side of it. And through this portal, you can see a strange rainbow sea outside of the crystal sphere, a rainbow of colors and weird gaseous substance. And a pirate ship comes barreling through this portal in the crystal sphere. So take it from there. What does Ansna do? What happens? And who's helping her?
I'm a smooth negotiator.
Okay. Ansna's terrified. This is a scary place to be in. How can she get back to her own ship?
Sure.
She's going to want to go back to her own ship,
Yeah.
But she is going to encourage non-confrontation.
Okay. So how do you think then that Gerlos or Zartok could help you?
Chris doesn't think that Gerlos can actually help. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, so you're planning to do what kind of check?
Oh, I was gonna do an insight check just to see if this ship even wanted to fight. I was thinking maybe they didn't.
Okay.
That's my thought.
The way we would do this is, if you succeed on that check, you get to say, oh, actually they don't want to fight. They've got some other objective, right?
Okay.
And you figure that out. Do you want someone to help you in some way that will allow you to make this check more successfar, to make the check with advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. If someone has a way. I will also cast guidance on myself to help.
Smart. I can make a scary face.
I don't know that helps. This is more of a looking in and seeing their intentions. And if you try to intimidate them, that might change their intentions.
That might scare them away, though, maybe.
And Zartok, is there anything you could do to help?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think of anything good. I really like the idea of just scaring them off, too, but what can I do? I think I'm going to...
I wouldn't describe myself as intimidating.
What's a skill you want to use, Josh?
I was looking at spells, actually. Maybe I can... She's trying to get a better look at this thing. Maybe I can outmaneuver the ship so that way she can, I don't know, get a close look at what's going on. Maybe, let's Top Gun it. What's the line from Top Gun? I was inverted.
Do a barrel roll.
So if you wanted to make an Arcana check to sort of expertly pilot the Spelljammer, you could do that. However, remember, that's your best skill.
Oh, so I can't use that.
And you probably want to save that for one of the more difficult checks.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And I don't think that Gerlos really, realistically, I don't know if he has any skill that can help in a negotiations.
Does Gerlos have Intimidate? This is not an Intimidator?
No, he's not. He has survival.
So here's a thought, guys. This is the easiest check, right?
Yep, this is the easiest check.
Maybe we don't use our extra skills for the easiest check.
The DC is always 15 for the aid check, though, right?
Oh, okay.
Right, but you're right. You can't use a skill again once you've used it, so maybe don't choose your best skills for this aid check.
Zartok's pretty good at it being insightful, too. So if Ansna just wants to, like, talk it out, we're, like, looking at the ship, gauging its, is this really just coincidence?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it is. What's their intent?
If Ansna doesn't roll insight, then what would she roll then? If Zartok rolled insight?
Oh, so we can't both do the
No,
same
you
thing.
can only use a skill once in this entire thing. Each skill can only be any skill you select. That's the one time you use it. That's the only time you get to use it in this whole narrative
And you can
thing.
only use the skills. You can't use the core stat. Like, you can't use the +1 in, like, a wisdom.
You could.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you wanted, let's suppose you wanted to intimidate someone, but you're not trained in the skill, you can always use your charisma modifier to make an intimidate
Perfect.
check.
That's what I wanted to know, because I think Gerlos only has 3 skills on this page, so...
That's right.
Cool, good to know. Would like a wisdom roll be different from her insight, or would it be considered part of the insight and I can't use it?
You got to tell me a skill,
Okay.
right? You got to tell me a skill you're using, and if you're not trained in that skill, you will still use the skill just with just using only your ability score and not using any skill bonus.
Gotcha. So I am going to do an intimidate, but not to look like I'm trying to antagonize them, but just look like I'm like a tough little halfling who they don't want to mess with our ship.
Now, what's Gerlos' bonus to he has no bonus to intimidation.
So it's just a +2 charisma.
Gerlos' charisma, it says here, is +0.
Oh, on this page it says +2 next to... Oh, that's Constitution.
You might be playing Gerlos a little too well, Chris.
Darn it. I have nothing. Gerlos has nothing.
I mean, Gerlos is trained in athletics, perception, and survival.
Which don't work in this particular scenario.
Perception, survival. Okay.
I mean, you could make up a way for them to work. You could say that maybe Gerlos sees something using perception that helps Ansna decide that, something with her insight check.
I could do...
Survival. We're definitely trying to survive.
I could do a survival check.
You could spot something on the ship. You could see that they have no ammo or something with perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You're like, oh, they don't even have any ammo. Well, they're not going to fight.
And then I won't be able to use perception for plants? Is that what you're saying?
That's true.
I want to save that one.
But you can use athletics for plants, which is your best skill.
That's true. Okay, I'll use perception for now. So,
Okay.
Gerlos is looking in case there's any indication that we're going to be attacked so that I could warn
All
our
right.
captain and Ansna.
So you need to roll a d20.
Ooh, 13 plus 5.
18. That's a success. That means Ansna gets to roll with advantage.
How
Okay.
about Zartok?
Zartok's not helping in this one. It's just the only 2 people can participate in any one skill challenge in terms of rolling skills.
Okay.
I'm flying the ship, Gerlos.
And then I can guidance myself, right?
Yeah, I guess you can. That's what... yeah, I'll say you can. That's fine.
Gerlos, what did you see?
Huh?
What did you see, Gerlos? What is it?
What did I see?
Yeah.
Well, there was
What is-
a person over there in the corner, and he seemed to be talking something mysterious with somebody else. They could have been planning to betray us, and
What?
I have no idea.
So, what does that mean? Does that mean they're going to attack us? Or does that mean they're busy talking?
I don't know. What do you think?
This skill check was really helpful because Ansna saw that they just seemed like busy talking and they just did not seem like they were getting prepared to fight at all. Because I rolled on one die I rolled a 1, and then on the other die, because Gerlos was so helpful in seeing that conversation, I rolled a 16.
Nice.
Plus my 3 guidance, plus my 6 bonus to insight. So I got like a 25.
Awesome.
And we know that they don't want to attack us.
They were just talking.
You've passed the first skill challenge, and you realize, thanks to Gerlos not paying any attention to their weapons, instead, looking to see that they're just talking to each other and don't seem interested. Ansna realizes that they probably haven't even noticed you, and they just sail off on their way, and you avoid getting into combat with these pirates. And the portal closes behind them in the crystal sphere.
I have real good eyes now that I have this body.
Good job, Gerlos.
That was Ansna's turn, so good job, everyone.
Yeah.
That means we've got one successful skill check under our belts, and you need to have 2 more, but the DC has now gone up. For the next skill check, the DC is going to be 17.
This is to help?
To help, it's always 15.
Okay.
But for the main skill check, the DC is now 17. And you wanted to do which one next?
Is this, should this be Chris's? Is this plants?
No,
or?
next one is resupply, right?
Yeah.
We can do resupply. So that was yours, Josh?
I think we're trying to save Zartok for plants, but I don't care. I mean, you're giving us a lot of freedom, so...
That's actually a good point, is if you do plants last, you want to have Zartok go last, because he has the biggest skill bonuses.
Right.
Which means, Chris,
Yeah.
do you want to narrate this resupply
Of course.
text here, and then make up a story to go with it?
Sure.
Okay, so go ahead and read number 2, please.
I sound like freaking... I think I've said this before, but like Beaky Buzzard, the guy, the vulture from Looney Tunes.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds just like him.
Yeah. That is what Gerlos sounds like.
So...
You don't have to read this in Gerlos' voice.
I was going to.
You can if you want. You don't have to.
Oh, I will.
I think you should.
All right, let me get a straight face. Resupply. You start to run low on supplies and have to stop at Bordrima, a planet that orbits at the edge of the solar system near the crystal shell. It is supposed to be a neutral port, but it's mostly used by Nyogi, pirates, and slavers. You need to get supplies without getting killed, I think.
You've already died once, Gerlos. That was it.
Plenty.
You don't get another one.
Oh, man. 100% Gerlos is my favorite NPC character.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, at least you didn't say Lumpin.
I
All
like
right.
Lumpin.
Lumpin is my favorite, for sure.
I like Epilema the most.
Hopefully,
my
was
favorite.
awesome.
So, Chris, what happens then? You land your ship, Zartok lands your ship at Bordrima, and it's a port on this small planet. What's it like? What happens?
It's like, you ever seen Aladdin?
Mhm.
It's like a more like, there's a lot more like kids running around, and when we land, we see a little kid like pickpocket something from a stand there, an area where they resupply and run off.
It's like, is it like Tortuga and Pirates of the Caribbean?
Kind of, yeah. There you go. That's
Okay.
a good one.
Yeah, but with more kids running around stealing
Yeah, they're
stuff.
like little like people who just got left behind because what do pirates and slavers want to do with children?
Yeah.
This is so depressing.
And everyone's mean mugging you, giving you the stink eye. Like, who are these people?
Yeah, but Gerlos doesn't notice because he's busy looking at the food. So as we're going, so this is we're low on supplies. We land on this neutral port. Something has to happen that kind of causes us to get out of here without being immediately attacked by mean muggers. Is that what I'm doing?
Right, and you need to use a skill check in a way that helps you get away.
Okay, so Zartok decides that he's going to. If Zartok wants to help out with this, or Ansna. I feel like me and Ansna get off to grab the supplies, and Zartok is getting ready with the ship in case we need to zoom out of here to escape. And so in the process as we're going, Ansna's being, very political, very insightful. She's handling her business. She goes to the least mean mugging looking area to grab supplies. Everything is going perfect. Gerlos sees that a little kid grabbed something and walked off. And so Gerlos thinks that was okay. So he thinks it's like a little bonus as part of the transaction. So he grabs like a little fruit-like thing because he's interested in what it might taste like. But he forgets to pay. So as Ansna's turned around to start walking back to the ship, Gerlos grabs his little fruit, and the person at the resupply sees him and is like, "What do you think you're doing?" Gerlos doesn't know what to do. He's like, "I just want this fruit. It looks delicious." And he starts to call out over people to grab us. So Ansna and Gerlos start a chase with these people to get onto the ship. And so my idea for the skill check is that as Zartok is trying to get us onto, so it's either going to be Zartok trying to find a way to help us get onto the ship so we can escape, or Ansna making it easier for us to get onto the ship without them catching us.
That's cool.
I'm going to try to use either athletics or survival for this to try to make it so that we can get onto the ship without any problems and escape before we're caught.
I think the strategic thing to do would be to use athletics, because that's your best bonus. So the question is, can Ansna or Zartok think of something to do to help Gerlos as he pulls Ansna back in the direction of the ship?
You guys think Ansna? I mean, you're being dragged.
Sorry, Ansna.
Let me describe what Ansna is good at. Physical skills, no.
Oh, gosh.
This is quite a resume already.
Great. She's got religion. Thumbs up. We can do religion. How would religion help us in this moment? So, yeah, that's a rough one.
You have to be creative.
Yeah. She's got perception, but we already used that. Can't do that. Medicine, pretty good at it. I was hoping maybe save that for plants. Also, don't know how that would help right now. So if you have any great ship maneuvering aid things, that would be great to use now.
I do have great ship maneuver. I could do ship maneuvering stuff. I was hoping to save it, but we don't have to save it. We can.
Could Zartok do something with his intimidation skill?
I don't know. What?
Did we already use that?
No, we didn't.
We
didn't.
haven't used it yet.
No, you haven't used intimidation.
No. Yeah.
You've used perception and you've used
I
insight.
was thinking anything to make us getting onto the ship easier, since I know that Ansna probably doesn't have the best athletics. Then I was going to see if I could use athletics to get onto the ship as the skill check.
So Zartok's chilling on the ship, and he sees them turn a quarter, Aladdin style, and he uses insight in order to know.
Already used insight.
Oh, okay. So we can't use that again.
Yep.
He will. Yeah, how would he use intimidation? Maybe.
Man, you guys haven't seen Firefly, have you?
Oh, I've seen it. Why? What do you think? What were you referencing?
I was going to say, don't you remember the episode where they anger some people at a bar?
Oh, I know.
And Wash flies. They're outside the bar, and the crowd's about to push them off a cliff or shoot them or something, and Wash appears.
Just rises the ship up.
Yeah, the ship up over the cliff and says, "Back off, or we're going to blow a hole in this tiny moon." And they all back off.
Oh, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah, you could do intimidation check with the weapons, with your magic, maybe.
No, we're going to have the Fang do the same thing. We're stealing from Firefly. Those writers are all got off to better things. Yeah, we'll do the same thing. We'll have the Fang slowly rise up. And is it got a ballista? What's its weapon?
Yeah, it's got a ballista on the back.
Okay, so Zartok can walk around the ship and pilot at the same time. So
right.
He'll be standing at the ballista and intimidate, fire a bolt down.
Yeah, you'll make him hesitate, slow down, giving us time to get on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so make an intimidation check, Zartok.
24. Zartok helps.
All right. That means, Chris, you can roll with advantage for Gerlos.
Can I then act out how the athletics works?
Yeah, based on the roll, let's see what happens.
All right. Come on. All right. I have 2.
Come on.
Wow. I have a natural 1 and a 19 plus 8.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Jeez.
Thank you for the advantage, Josh.
All right. So
That is the second time that the roll was helped by having advantage and not being a natural 1.
Let's all thank Firefly, that wonderful show that got 1 season in a movie.
yep.
Did they got 2 seasons, right?
No, just
one season.
One season.
Those poor people. They like that show so much too. Oh well.
Yep. So that's a total of 27, which is a pass.
Nice.
It's your second skill challenge passed. And what happens then? Because you have definitely succeeded wildly on this skill check.
So as we're running, Ansna's trying to think of like religion as a way to help make this easier, because here we go again, Gerlos being Gerlos and messing things up. So as she's thinking, she misses a step and trips as we're trying to jump onto the ship. And Gerlos uses his little halfling feet to grip the railing and then grab her with one arm to get her onto the ship, because he doesn't want to use the other arm to hold the railing because he has the fruit in that hand and he doesn't want to let it go because he wants to taste it. So he gets her, and then Ansna finds her footing and we're able to get onto the ship just as someone comes swinging, but then stops because this ballista almost takes off a huge section of the area and he gets scared. So they kind of stop in shock and we're able to get on the ship, and it gives us enough time to get away. And Gerlos grabs the fruit and he takes a bite all triumphant and he goes, "Oh, this tastes horrible." And that's the thing.
I love it.
Gerlos, I would appreciate less thrilling heroics in the future.
But it looks so good.
All right, so you have succeeded in 2 skill challenges, and you've managed to resupply your ship. So the next one you wanted to do was plants! ! So that's going to be Zartok's skill challenge then. And just to remind you, the DC is now 21.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. Before I start waxing eloquent, can I use my fortune rolls on this? My divination rolls.
I will let you choose. You can either have advantage, or I'll let you use the lower of your 2 fortune rolls as one of your 2 rolls. Like, I'll let you choose. Someone can give you advantage on the roll, or you can take the lower of your 2 fortune rolls for the day.
Gotcha.
And a second roll as well.
Got it. I rolled a 19 and a 5, so the second roll was terrible. We're not going to do that.
Yep, not going to do that. Okay.
So they get to the last location of the jar, of where they need to place the jar, and there's this ship. It's like crashed into this crystal shell, and there's plants growing all over it. And then Zartok wouldn't like explore the ship just for fun. That's crazy. Not with the C team. That's not what we're gonna do.
Ouch.
They send Gerlos out.
They send me out?
Yeah, to just try to place the last crystal jar, the jar. But it's not working. It's not disappearing like it normally does. So it's like, okay, clearly something's going on with this plant ship or whatever. So we all put on our red shirts and we go on the plant ship, and it's just covered in plants and roots, and it looks like the former crew is buried into the walls. Am I supposed to make all this up, Mike? I'm making this up.
Go for it.
So the crew is their skeletons are all buried in the walls, and roots have grown up into them and around them, and everything's covered in moss and plants. And they're exploring the ship. They get to the piloting area, and there's a plant sitting in the pilot chair. Maybe they find a captain's log somewhere, and they were trying to use their plants so that they didn't have to renew the ship's air. They're trying to use plants, but they used a plant that was too smart, too aggressive. And Zartok's got to figure out a way to destroy the plant or capture it somehow.
Can I make a suggestion? Give me just a moment to look something up?
Yeah, do it.
Also, this reminds me of The Last of Us, where the people are stuck to the walls with the spores.
Yeah, it's very Last of Us-y.
There is a Spelljammer monster.
Feed me, Captain Seymour.
There is a Spelljammer monster called an Artuk, and they look like that.
Ooh.
Oh, cute.
They are plants.
Should we describe what this looks like?
It's a plant squid with eyes at the top.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, they are plants that they're baleful plant creatures that are scattered across the material plane and can be found throughout wild space, including aboard spelljamming ships, whose former crews were either murdered or forcibly ejected by a band of Artuks. Yeah, so maybe they took one on board thinking it could refresh the air on the ship, but the plant sort of took over. I love that.
So there's one sitting in the pilot chair. They've got to get this ship detached from the crystal sphere so that they can plant this last jar. They can install the last jar. So Zartok's going to make an Arcana check to cast a bevy of spells like Blight, in select locations. Figure out just how to do this. And someone's going to help him do something. I don't remember what you guys are
I'm
good
at survival.
Yep, survival might be helpful. I guess you could maybe make an argument for medicine. Maybe think about how can you maximally hurt these plants. It would be more of a nature check, I guess. I would let survival work. If you can find a good argument for medicine, I would allow that if you can find a good reason for that to be used.
So with survival, it says, you hunt game, you can guide a group through like hazardous situations. So maybe I could use survival to find a weakness or an area that we can insert ourselves to place the jar without inciting an all-out attack by this creature, maybe?
Okay. Maybe you can sort of find a clear path once Zartok has blasted the plant some.
Yeah.
That's fine. Chris, go ahead and roll your survival check.
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh. I don't know. Let me see. What's my survival?
It's +5.
Ooh. Unfortunately.
You got a 50% chance.
I rolled a 9 plus 5 is 14.
14.
Ooh, just short.
So you're doing this without advantage then, Josh.
You're halfling and with luck points.
Oh, he doesn't have luck
No,
points.
it's,
Halfling luck means if he rolls a natural 1, he gets to reroll.
Yeah,
Oh,
natural
Gerlos.
1. That would have been really cool on this.
You should have taken the lucky feat.
He's a sidekick. He can't.
Gerlos, what are you doing? Gerlos, stop it! So Zartok's casting all these spells, and the plants are getting more angry, and I don't know, Gerlos is getting tied up in a bunch of roots that are coming to life.
Perfect.
Gerlos, you're making this worse. I don't want to save you.
Guys, I'm stuck. Help me.
So Zartok's casting spells all over the place.
Make an Arcana check.
He rolls a 9 with a +11 for a 20.
Oh, no.
Now, he does have luck points. I don't know if he can use them.
If you want to spend one luck point, I'll let you spend 1 luck point.
Can I do guidance again?
You have to cast that before he rolls.
Ansna, no! Ansna's getting tied up in it. Oh my gosh, I rolled a 9 again. Okay.
So the consequence here I've got consequences planned for if you don't pass one of these checks.
Okay.
So you succeed in blasting the plants away. Okay, you managed to pull it off. I'll let you narrate how that happens. But some of these Artuk cells manage to get onto your lance ship, and they get large enough to cause some damage, and they even destroy a couple jars before you're able to eliminate them.
Oh, so that's why this is the last one. They destroyed what was left.
Yeah, so what that means is there are some jars that you weren't... this doesn't have to be the last jar,
Okay.
but there were some jars that you weren't able to place, which will have some narrative consequences later.
Cool.
All right? But nonetheless, you've gotten almost all of them placed. So anything else you want to add to the story?
Yeah, we're like fireballing and cutting our way off the ship, and it's like a romantic zero-gravity dive off the ship as it explodes behind us, and we land back on the Fang. And it's awesome.
Cool. Unfortunately, a few days later, some of these cells were carried with you onto your ship, and they managed to destroy, in the fighting that ensues, they managed to destroy some of the jars, maybe accidentally. So what that means is you've got 2 of the 3 points you need. Do you want to try another story to see if you can get that 3rd point?
My assumption is actually Gerlos destroys the jars while destroying these little baby plants. Yeah.
Accidentally, yeah.
That's so mean.
All right, so the next, if you want to try again, the DC for the next check will be 24.
But I like the stowaway one since we did.
You could do the stowaway
resupply.
story. You want to do that one?
Yeah, we should, because we picked them up.
Yeah.
Who wants to do the stowaway story? Anyone can do this one now that you've each done a challenge.
You got anything remaining, Josh? For Zartok, any good skills?
Zartok's got...
I think we need your skills.
Yeah, Zartok's got history and intimidate 8 plus 7, but we need 8.
You've already used intimidate.
That's right.
I've used all of mine too.
History then.
So maybe this one could be one where, Ansna uses religion to convince the stowaway or something
Yeah.
to join us.
So who's doing the actual check then? Is it Zartok or is it Ansna?
I've got +6 to my skills. I assume Zartok has better.
Zartok is a little better.
Zartok's got a +8 left.
Great.
It's still unlikely we succeed, but what happens if we don't get all the points, Mike? What's the punishment?
There will be some narrative consequences.
He won't tell us until it happens.
We gotta do it. We don't want narrative
Yeah,
consequences.
narrative consequences sound like a bleh.
Don't forget, Ansna could cast guidance if she decides to do it before
She
Zartok
will.
rolls.
And, we're literally doing a religious thing right now, right? We're placing jars for gods.
Sure. In that case, Josh, it's unfair, but you're going to have to narrate another story. So why don't you either read the text or narrate what happens, or both?
Stowaway. You find a pirate stowaway in the lower deck hiding in the hold. He says he sneaked onto the ship while you were at Bordrima to get away from his captain, who threatened to sell him to the New. We don't like that.
No.
Okay. So now we're dealing with the stowaway. We probably found him because we were going through all our destroyed stuff from the plant stuff, and we're like clearing out the plant cells. We're trying to calm him down, and he's a stowaway from another crystal sphere.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he doesn't know anything about our crystal sphere. So we've got to convince him to calm down, and that we're gonna bring him back to Jebberwarp, and he'll be safe there. And so Ansna can use religion to tell him about all the gods that are there and why that's so great, because the whole god concept would be totally different than wherever he came from. We don't have gods that you pray to and get more powerful. And Zartok will give him a bit of background about Jebberwarp.
Okay.
We're not gonna fly him back to his crystal sphere right now. That's not
right.
It's not gonna happen. So
that would take too
we
long.
have better tasting fruit.
All right. So Ansna, you want to make that aid check by rolling religion?
Okay. But Anson's, her god's a healer, right? Is that who she adopted?
I think so.
I
That
feel
makes
like
sense.
that's true. I know she's a cleric, so I mean she's got a god now.
I think so. It's been a long time since I thought about that.
yeah, I think it's a healer, but I don't know either.
All right, she rolled a 17 for aid,
Nice.
Nice.
and then let me roll your
Nice.
guidance. A +3.
All right.
Okay. Bad news.
No,
I got a 14 and a 12.
don't like that.
So I got +3. +3 to the 14 is only 17.
And what was
Oh,
your
dear.
skill?
Then what was your skill?
History.
And
So that's including your +8 from history?
Yeah.
My
wait,
God.
what did you
dear.
roll? What was your initial?
They weren't good rolls.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Okay. So you don't succeed in calming him down. What do you think happens?
Have you ever seen Firefly?
No, tell me about it.
Sometimes you just eject someone into space, and you let that deal with it.
Okay. So he ends up
Oh my
getting
God,
into a fight
that's-
with you, and you just push him off the ship, and he drifts away.
Objects in space.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
We're heroes. I mean, Zartok is the most ambiguous of us.
We give him a plant so that it renews his air bubble.
Oh.
It slowly
Give him some
consumes
plants.
It
him.
slowly eats him
Okay.
in space.
All right.
I mean, we didn't have a choice. He was going. Listen, nobody should feel bad about what happened. I mean, we don't have to tell the others about what happened. They don't have to know about this. We had a situation and we dealt with it.
We gave him a plant. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be perfectly fine. That plant's going to grow and bear fruit, and he's going to live out here like Bender and Futurama with, that episode.
We really know our space pop culture.
We're really digging deep.
Bad news, guys.
The story consequences in the near term of this are he actually managed to steal one of these jars before you kicked him off the ship, and you didn't realize it until he'd already been kicked off and you had already left the area. And he did get picked up by some other ship, so you've lost that jar.
And made an enemy for life.
You still only have the 2 points. Do you want to push and try the last story idea, or come up with your own and see if you can get that last point?
I don't have rolls that I could make high enough to get it.
I have a +6 to medicine, but our last point would be 27?
Yeah, the last DC is 27, so you might not be able to get it.
Yeah, we don't have the.
I don't think
I
we
would
can
have
get
to
it.
have a near 20 and also guidance.
Yeah.
I don't think we should risk it.
Okay, you gonna stop there?
So wait, we don't have any skills left? That's where we are? I can medicine something so good. Hold on.
Zartok has none that you haven't already used that have good bonuses, right?
I have an idea or a story.
Okay.
After destroying some of these plants, we start all getting sick from residue from this stuff.
Yeah.
And we start acting in very strange ways as we've inhaled some of these plants.
Oh no, this is a terrible one. What happened?
And we're all getting really sick, and we start behaving in more rabid ways. And Ansna's the only one that can cure us with her medicine check.
Oh no, we're reavers now.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Okay.
If you so choose to take
Okay,
it.
wait, so how would you be aiding me in this?
I already used my survival. Well, Josh has stuff though, right? He has more stuff than we do.
Josh has already used Intimidation, Insight, History, and Arcana. I guess Ansna used the Insight. The only skills that Zartok has left are like +3s.
Yeah.
And for Gerlos,
I have like plus.
A +3
1.
can aid me.
yep, +3 might be enough to get an aid check. Gerlos, you've already used Athletics, Perception, and Survival.
Yep.
The best you have left, you could do a raw strength check that would give you a +4. If you have a skill that
Nice.
would use strength.
You know, it'd be funny. Zartok is the one that starts becoming more rabid, and he's chasing us down, and I need to hold the door, like Game of Thrones, from getting Zartok to come at us. And in the meantime, as I'm holding him back, Ansna's coming up with a medicine solution to get him back to normal.
You want to try it?
I'll accept this. Can I use guidance on both of us?
No, you have to choose one of you to use it on.
Use it on
Okay,
yourself.
it's gonna have to be me
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
Pilot's log. My skin is turning green. And every time I look at Gerlos, I think, I want to eat his brains.
You guys can tell I like zombies and scary stuff.
Gerlos
All
needs
right.
to roll that. It's a strength check. It's kind of like athletics, but we're going to just call it a strength check, so +4.
Okay.
I've never thought of myself as a strong man, but today I think I can overwhelm Gerlos with my strength.
The spory stuff in you is making you more stronger, using all of your muscles. I rolled an 11 plus 5, so 16.
11 +4, you mean? +4 from your strength.
4 plus 4. But
15.
still 16, right? 15.
11 +4, 15. You still pass. You needed a 15 to get that advantage.
Woo!
So that means, Ansno, you get to roll with advantage and guidance.
Okay,
Hey.
I am going to roll to save Zartok's life and stop him from becoming a reaver driven mad by dark space spores.
All right.
He's so strong.
I don't want to go back, Ansna. I want to stay this way forever. It's just me and the sun.
This one is a 17.
Oh. What's your guidance?
This one is a 3,
Okay, that's 20.
making it not enough by 1
Oh.
because I in medicine is a +6, so it is
26.
a 26.
Did
That
you have
was including the
guidance?
guidance.
Oh,
I had
you made it
17 plus
27.
3
oh, no.
plus 6.
But
And my other dice is not higher than a
I
17.
want to add that this could be like, I don't know if you guys have seen Cowboy Bebop,
Of course.
but there's an episode where they all get sick and start acting really weird, and it's because of like some like
Expired
sandwich
food
Yeah, but then they all get better, but it was a nightmare night.
Been a while since I watched it.
There's an episode where there's this thing that's moving around the ship that is making them sick, and then I think Ed eventually eats it.
Yes, that's what it is. Ed
Yeah.
eats it, and then that's how they get better.
Yeah. Anyway, so you got real close. So you are able to restrain Zartok, and you're able to treat him, but not before he goes a little crazy and destroys one more of the jars.
And eats Gerlos's left ear. There's a little nibble on it.
A little nibble, just a little nibble.
I'm so sad because we were so
You were
close.
so close.
We were 1 point off on 3
Yeah.
different rolls to make this.
Yeah, honestly, I think that should get us 2.5 points.
Yeah, I'm going to say this isn't a complete failure, right? You guys got real close. In other words, you're able to get enough jars for this to work, but there's some kind of consequence which will eventually be revealed of not quite getting all the jars into place.
Oh, cool. It's actually better that way.
Yeah, it's more interesting maybe.
It's also fun that it's our team that Killed us all.
Well, I'm really sad about my new dice. Look, they're orange. They have a koi fish in them.
Ooh.
Very cool. But yikes.
No, you were close. I did not expect a 26.
Thanks for saving me, Ansna. That's, I don't know what happened. It was weird, and it's just Gerlos is so small and tasty looking now.
You scare me a little bit.
There are some stories I wish to forget from this trip.
All right, so one more thing that happens while you're flying around, right? After weeks of sailing around the inside of this crystal sphere, you've settled into a routine. You take a shift flying, Zartok, and then Ansna and Gerlos stand guard while you rest. During this rest, your most recent rest, you have a more difficult time falling asleep. And when you do fall asleep, you have a fitful dream of being pursued by a spidery spelljammer. It gets closer and closer until it's right on top of you, and now you're not flying the lance ship anymore, you're just floating through space as this giant spider tries to ensnare you in its long limbs. You're actually gaining on it though, you're just too fast. And then the scene suddenly changes and you're sitting in a large, comfortable chair across from a warm fireplace. And there are no walls visible, just an empty black space, and the chair, and a bit of wooden floor visible in the firelight. And a familiar voice greets you.
Hello again, Ducky. I grew tired of the game of chase. I hope you do not mind.
No, I don't mind. This is nice. Thanks for this setup. It's quite pleasant, honestly.
I must say I'm so pleased to see you have begun to feel that you have begun placing the jars around the crystal sphere. Are you doing well? Getting plenty of rest, eating healthy?
No. I'm actually, I had a run-in with a plant. I'm not feeling real good. But yeah, thanks for asking.
Oh, dear, you must take care of yourself. You're so important.
I know, I'm trying. Thank you.
Well, you'll be so happy with the results, I promise. Oh, we'll do wonderful things. And those stuck-up prigs on the mountain will have to deal with me.
Yes, they will.
So, do you need anything? Any questions?
What happens if we maybe lost some of the jars?
Oh dear, you lost some of the jars. Well, I did give you perhaps a few extra, just to be on the safe side. But, this won't work quite as well as intended. There will be a little bit of, well, let's say leakage. But that's probably fine. Probably.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen or heard of a situation where leakage was not bad.
That's a fair point, my dear. Yes. Well, we'll just have to do our best, won't we?
Yeah.
As long as everyone sticks to the deal, the world will be a better place for you and for me and all those little people down there, won't it?
I really hope so. Yes.
Well, thank you again. You're doing the right thing. Yes. We'll be talking again soon. Good night, dear.
And you wake up.
I just think, her manner of speaking just makes her seem so untrustworthy.
Very evil.
Yeah, she really needs a better marketing department and communication
a little bit of
plan.
Interview coaching.
Yeah, something. I mean, she never asked me, so whatever. It's unfortunate, but now we're gonna have to deal with the god of teenage angst instead, and that's gonna be way better.
I do believe it's the goddess of hope, Zartok.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
Who's a god?
And on that note, we'll end this episode. And next time, we'll be doing a similar narrative skill challenge thing, except you will be trying to accomplish your mission of spreading the word of this new god and trying to attract followers.
Nice.
And you'll be telling everyone stories about how that goes.
Okay, awesome.
This was fun.
Maybe Tara should have been along for this trip instead of that one. She's going to be terrible.
Well, next time you'll have more options for skills that you can use, right? and you'll have more players, you'll also have to earn a little bit more in terms of points. So we'll see how it goes. Well, thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to our listeners next time.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye.
Almost a success.
Almost.
Gerlos is smart.
Oh, is he? What's his intelligence
It's
on there?
a 10.
Oh, that's just average. I probably ought to tune that down some.
That's smarter than
Tara.
Yeah. Well,
But
I mean,
Tara-
you know,
Terry, you act smarter than your stat, though.
Tara's got some wisdom.
Yeah.
I need to
Tara's
tune.
wise. Yeah.
I need to tune that down. Actually, I just went with the stock ability scores for sidekick, so I need to tune that down and tune something else up some. So please continue to play Gerlos the way he has traditionally been portrayed.
All right. I got to figure out Anson's voice, and I'm kind of.
I try to think of Goofy when I think of Gerlos.
Ansna has a slightly nasal voice, and she's quite prim and proper. She tends to use a non-rhotic accent, but just do whatever you want. It's fine.
I don't know what non-rhotic means.
Non-rhotic
That's
means
not her.
No, non-rhotic means that she doesn't pronounce the R's after the initial R in a word. So she wouldn't say proper, she would say propa.
Author.
Yes, exactly. Much like in Boston, where you park the car in Harvard Yard.
Bostonian Ansna.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It sounds exactly the same.
Change it up.
There are non-rhotic accents in the U.S. So, for example, Sylphonia has a non-rhotic accent, right? She's got the genteel southern, not southern, but southern accent, right?
Yeah, Blanche Devereaux.
Yeah, exactly. So that is also a non-rhotic accent. Okay. Rho, of course, being the Greek
Why is
letter
that? Why
makes
is that
the
a
R
pattern?
sound.
Why is that a recurring pronunciation thing?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. So it's interesting history there. The non-rhotic accent. So when people first came over from the UK, well, I guess England at the time, wasn't the UK yet, they had rhotic accents. So the non-rhotic accent did not emerge in England until after the founding of the U.S., or I guess right around the time of the founding of the U.S. And it was an upper crust posh accent at the time that gradually everyone emulated. Right, once this becomes the fancy way to talk, then everyone starts emulating it, and they start dropping their R's as well. And that never came over to the U.S. broadly because it emerged in England after the colonies had already been well established. It did appear in some places in the U.S., but I don't know why in those places. Yeah, so I don't know why it emerged in Boston and among the upper class in the South. I don't know. That is an interesting question, but I don't have the answer. Other questions about anything else?
Let's talk more about accents.
I'd like to know more about this. Why is it called rhotic?
Because the Greek letter rho is the
Oh, you
R
said-
sound.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
You were explaining that.
Could
Yep.
you do a quick Gerlos for me?
Oh, yeah, I could do a Gerlos. Yeah. What do you want to know, Chris? You're speaking to Gerlos.
I want
So
Gerlos to
Okay.
just explain what you just explained.
It's like there's an R sound, and like sometimes people say it, and sometimes they don't. But like, why is it always at the end of the word they drop it? Why don't they drop it at like the beginning and keep it at the end, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Gerlos.
I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't either. I bet it sounds like your intelligence score is around a 10.
Well, thanks, man.
Awesome.
It's about my intelligence score too. So I mean, you know.
Gerlos is flying. He has the final word, let's say. No, I'm sorry, not Gerlos. Zartok. That would be crazy.
The point. It's official.
Oh, let me ask. Did anyone recognize the music or the intro in general?
I recognize it. I don't know
Is
what
it
it's
like
from. That's spoofed. That's been spoofed many times.
Yeah, like
so I don't even know the source of the spoof at this
it's
point.
not Twilight. It's
No.
it's like a space going thing. It's definitely
You're not old enough. is the problem.
Is it Pigs in Space?
It's Pigs in Space.
Oh,
That's
look
right.
at that. Let's see, I'm older than anything.
Yeah, yep, you got it. It's from the Muppet Show,
That's what I thought.
Pigs in Space.
I thought that was spoofing something else.
Well,
That's
that
why
was
I didn't
spoofing
even say
Star
it.
Trek and other stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Like the theme song is sort of a parody of the original Star Trek theme song
Oh yeah, I remember Pigs in Space.
in terms of instrumentation and style.
A plant that orbits at the edge of the sun.
Oh, that's supposed to be a planet. I'm sorry.
Not a plant.
Not a planet. A planet.
We got plants
Sorry.
on the map.
That's very Gerlos.
It is very Gerlos. Hold on. I'm going to fix that. That is that's an embarrassing typo. Okay.
You had plants on the mind, that's all.
Yeah.
You're
oh, my
really
goodness.
excited about that last one.